It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Wednesday show, May 14th, 2025. Ermanni and Edwards with Matt. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, good afternoon to you. Smash that like button. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports. If you're watching on X, good afternoon to you. The great Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Appreciate you calling by my true government name. No one knows about that. Braylon was originally what my mother meant to call me. Amazing day. Amazing day, great energy. You see the shirt, go blue. I was in Ann Arbor earlier, Celine. I was visiting a true great person. True great man, and that would be Coach Lloyd Carr, who told me to tell everyone here, including Maz as well as you, tell them Coach Carr says hello.
I love that, man.
Coach Carr was my first phone call on WJR.
Look at
He
that.
called into my show.
Mike.
Oh, damn. I'm so.
You know what
Your
year was that, man? How long you been doing this? What year was that?
That was 1997.
That's
1997. That was a championship year.
He's still the same guy. He told me to tell you hello. Obviously knows exactly where we were. I almost got into the infamous you driving back from the
Oh,
Spartan
God.
Bob game. But
God.
I didn't have that much time, so I didn't go on the tirade. But today I learned a little bit more about like never being too high and never being too low.
Mm-hmm.
4 conversations, Ryan, as I say hello to everyone else, Ricky, Pete.
Yo,
4
what's up,
conversations. I'm talking to Lloyd earlier, so my emotion and my excitement, it went through the roof after we went for a walk. Then I had a lunch with another friend, University of Michigan, Ryan, you know who it was. We sat down and talked about life. There was some peaks in the conversation. There were some valleys in the conversation. Now the energy goes to another place. Then I talked to one of my son's mothers. Talked to her. And then the conversation had peaks and ebbs and flows, and some of it was sad and some of it was whatever. Then the last conversation was about golf. And I was going out to play. I got invited to go play the course that I like. But I just took in that moment, like, stop doing this and this and this. Just do this.
That's a learned behavior, though,
It
right?
is, and I'm trying to learn that, is what I'm saying.
That is a
Like,
learned
just-
behavior, and it's funny because as sports fans, what we do on this show, and good afternoon to you, Tom Mazaway,
Hi there, fellas.
Ricky Burns, Pete Spivak.
Good afternoon.
Sports fans,
That's what
what
it
we
reminded
do
me of.
is we are so up and we are so down. It is the greats like Brad Holmes, like Dan Campbell, like J.B.
Belichick.
Bickerstaff. If you look at the people who are actually in the games, okay, the athletes, the coaches, Patrick Mahomes is a great example. You never see him really too high, and you never see him really too low. Now, sports fans, we have that ability to go up and down, and that's probably an
Right.
area of your life where that's expected and pretty awesome, right? But in real life, it's the really successful people that can just kind of stay even with some bumps, not the high peaks and the high,
But I'm glad you started with it's a learned behavior.
Yes.
Because remember, 4 years ago, Maz, remember Dan Campbell at the podium?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Dan Campbell after certain games? Remember
Of
Dan
course.
Campbell when he was on the hot seat? Even when he had the good moments, Dan Campbell, I got caught looking around and all this. Like, it's a learned behavior. He's learning how to be even keel, how to be more chill. It is over time, man, but I am learning it.
I love
Today
it.
was a great day.
I was not even keeled last night, though.
No.
Boy.
Matter of fact, I jump out of my seat.
I jumped right out of the bed.
But before he hit the
man.
home run,
I
got off the couch. I stood up after Trey,
It was Jace Young.
Jace Young got on base.
Mm-hmm.
I stand up, and I'm like, all right, we're down 2 runs here. And you know my hate for the Red Sox. It can't happen. I'm like, there's no way. And I turned away for a second, and then I heard it.
Yeah.
And I watched, and
No doubter.
for a second, I said, did I rewind this is this the 6th inning? I really thought, is this the 6th inning?
It was the same pitch.
Because
too.
it can't happen again. 3-run homer again?
Yeah.
and it happened. And
First time.
I called my
Again,
wife,
that's the
my
first
daughter
time.
in. They all come in. I rewound it. We watched it together like it was live. Wow. You know how much I love baseball, but I love this freaking story.
Yeah.
This is an amazing sports comeback story. I mean, they can make a movie about this. This was the worst hitter in baseball. He was worse than the Mendoza line. The Mendoza line was made for one of the worst baseball players in history.
Not Eric and Lyle Menendez.
No.
The
No.
Mendoza.
Mendoza
Not
line.
Menendez.
This guy,
To be clear.
this guy, Javi Baez, surpassed the Mendoza line under it. And look at him this year. He is almost leading in every batting category that is out there. And he's got the Tigers in first place. Between them and the Mets, the two best records in baseball. I am just in awe right now of this team.
Javier Baez. This is what we talked about before the season. I was the one that predicted he was going to go 300. But this is even beyond that. Like, this is beyond that. I think as a former athlete, I know what happens a lot of times in the locker rooms or what's going on behind the scenes, the things that you don't necessarily know about, the things that you don't put out there. Pete alluded to, or he said it yesterday when we were talking about the marriage and the fall from his marriage and when the batting changed and then the hip and not having that. These are things you know about in the locker room. You know what's going on with a fellow teammate. You know if he's in a bad situation or if he's injured, but the injury can't necessarily be put out there. And I think in that space, I forgot what it is to be an athlete. I forgot that there are certain times, situations you don't know all of the information on. And I think that was a situation with Javi Baez. We didn't know all the information. He fixed himself in more ways than one. He's a 168 million player that we got a couple years ago.
At least up to this point, he
this
certainly is the comeback player of the year, and that usually goes to somebody who cannot play because of an injury and comes back and plays well or above average.
His brain was injured.
It is very rare that you have a
Emotions.
player who just sucked, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. A player that just sucked and then comes back and all of a sudden he's the MVP of the league. I mean, if you had to vote right now for the most valuable player of Major League Baseball, Javier Baez is the leading vote getter.
In a landslide.
No argument.
Yeah. I
He
agree.
plays any position you need him to play, and we're going to get to the center field position. And Maz, I saw your post.
Yep.
Sorry, Parker Meadows,
Yeah.
but this job right now is Javier Baez's job. That's just not even optional.
Yep.
I will say this. Last night was one of those magical moments that happen in a championship year. We talk about the story and the script. Last night is going to be one of those times that you look back in the season of 162 games and you say, I remember where I was when that happened.
Yep.
Javier Baez,
Sure.
all the highlight videos of a season-ending championship run will include that moment in that game on that night. Here's what the manager said afterwards. A.J. Hinch talking about Javier Baez.
You know, I am so happy for that guy. I don't know if he's here and continues to battle, continues to fight, continues to try, learning a new position, abbreviated playing time at the beginning of the season to now every day we're wearing him out. And he's all in. Like he's an incredible human and he's doing his part, and he should get all the praise for how he's gone about it in his time here.
I totally understand what A.J. Hinch is trying to say as well. It's not just Baez, who that was a huge moment for. And I know it was a walk-off moment, a win in extra innings, but did you see how the team responded to that?
Yeah.
They are so happy for him. And for all of the hate that Baez has gotten from Tiger fans, and I don't use that word loosely, Javier Baez, prior to these 43 games, is one of, if not the most hated athlete in Detroit sports currently going right now in 2025. And those players feel so good for him because throughout all of it, it's evident that he was a really good teammate. And I think that says something as well.
Not too often you get a chance to rewrite your story, and his story was he was the Javi Baez of the Cubs, 2016. They win it all. He's the guy. And then there's the declination process from 2016 to now. There's declining of this athlete that was this deal, this athlete that was a World Series champion, others. And he gets to Detroit. And it's the old adage, Detroit. He goes to Detroit. This is the only team that'll pay him. Then he goes into the cycle of becoming a worse player, or now he's not after it for serious. And he turns it around. You change the manager up. You change the things up. You change the energy up, and it opens up, and now he's able to change his story, man. I think the Tigers are just walking proof of it's the best case scenario. Like walking into the season with Sky Harris. Like, well, best case scenario, Javi's had this injury. He's had the surgery. He'll figure it out. Best case scenario, our pitching staff would do this. Best case scenario, the players that took that step last year in the postseason, they'll figure it out. Best case scenario, Gleyber Torres, who is a vet in this league, who does have experience.
What a signing.
I think the best case scenario for the Tigers and Sky Harris, it's worked out. Like, not your best case scenario in totality, if you kind of see where I'm going with this. The best case scenario, all of it's working out the way in which they hoped it would. It's crazy.
Hey, Ryan, can I steal a line from you? Can I give you the stats?
Let me give you those.
I got a little Opta stats here on our friend Mr. El Mago. Javier Baez of the Tigers is the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit a walk-off home run for his second lead-flipping 3-plus run homer of the game. Lead-flipping equals turned a deficit into a lead.
Wow. Baez for mayor, man.
How about that?
And that's on him. What was the conversation about yesterday, Ryan? You weren't here, but we've talked about everything in Detroit. It seems like when they mention it, it's the first. The first time a player's done this. The first time a skipper's done that. The first time that the Pistons have gone, or the player team. And here we are yet again, the night after having a conversation, saying it again.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
A.J. Hinch and Scott Harris have put together a hell of a ball club.
Yeah.
Hinch is the kind of guy that he won't take the best guy. He'll take the guy that could play 3 or 4 positions for him.
It sounds like somebody else I know.
He's got a bunch of these guys.
Sounds like Brad Holmes.
He's
Sounds
got.
like Brad Holmes.
I'm telling you, there's players on this team that will play any position. But Javi's dream was playing his boyhood favorite position, which is center field. The minute they put him in center field, he was already good, but he has now blossomed. Maybe the pressure of playing shortstop all those years, very hard position, very tough position, always got to be ready for every single pitch. The outfield has relaxed him, put him in a great position, and as long as he keeps going, I don't know what they're going to do with Parker Meadows, who was one of the best center fielders in baseball already at the young age that he was. And we don't know if he's going to be back. We don't know what's going on with his arm. But, man, the Tiger gods have sent us Javi Baez to fill in spectacularly. This team is so well put together. They're going to be hard to beat.
Just going back to one of the original points that you made, Braylon, about not staying too high and not staying too low or anything like that, just kind of living in the middle. If Javier Baez shrunk and really allowed himself to, believe that, as the kids say, he wasn't him anymore. Yeah. He never. It's evident because I don't know if you do lose this, I don't know how you get it back. He never thought that he was going to stay that bad for that long or forever, for that matter. He truly believed that he had what it takes to be a Major League Baseball player, a star at this level, and or this far along in his career, and then recapture that excellence that he had when he played with the Cubs. And you have to have that belief system inside of you to even allow yourself the ability to dig out of the kind of rut he was in as a professional athlete. Now, please.
Finish that. And then
I was just that's...
And I was just going to say, agreed, and you got to give Sky Harris, you have to give A.J. Hinch the same credit that you have to give. It seems like that's what they do here in the city. They allow players the chance to blossom. City of Detroit is like, we'll wait. We'll wait and see what this guy is. They don't give up necessarily on guys. Like, how many organizations would have gave up on Javi Baez 2-3 years ago? Paid the check and got him out of here. I mean, it worked out that we needed him, and we were a bad team at the time, so it worked out. But And then after last season, how many teams would have still said, all right, cool, now we know what we are. We're a team that's won a playoff game. We can get rid of this guy and then get somebody else in here. That's what we all wanted. They chose to stay with him. Scott Harris has known him since his days with the Cubs, and these goes out to San Fran. So I believe that being patient is what's paying off for the Tigers, and I think you're also seeing that in other organizations. Maybe one organization a little bit too patient.
They scored 24 runs in the last 2 games against Boston.
That's crazy.
68 in their last 7 wins.
And that's including laying 2 eggs against the Rangers over the weekend.
Right. Going off a point that you made, Ryan, when you talk about he had to have been a good teammate. They must have seen the work behind the scenes. He must have been staying after practice for them to be like, you know what, we're gonna wait it out. He must have been doing something behind the scenes that we don't know about.
And it's not only about, we talk about this too as talk show hosts or fans. Oh, I apologize to Al Avila. Oh, I apologize to Scott Harris. Oh, I apologize to Chris Ilitch. And I agree with that, and that's fine. We all have called Chris Ilitch cheap. We have all said Scott Harris is in over his head. We have all said that Al Avila didn't know what he's doing and he must be fired and this, that, and the other thing. It highlights as well how much we don't know as fans, as talk show hosts, as people who aren't in the room. Everybody's got an opinion. An opinion is like a you-know-what. Everybody's got one, and that's fine. And sometimes, yes, sometimes as sports fans, as talk show hosts, we go so far overboard. I have been so guilty of it myself, but I'm the first one to raise my hand and say I have done that. Not so much in this case because I didn't even really care at that point, but I have done that with other things. The Lions, Michigan, I've done that in so
You remember when you weren't watching the Tigers or you didn't care?
Didn't care at all. Last night, I'm so tired. So tired.
Dang.
9-7.
I dozed off a couple times.
9-7, I'm done. I'm like, okay, 2 runs, it's over. Not gonna win. And then I'm like, oh God, okay.
Extra
so
innings.
2-run homer could Jace Young's not hit a 2-run homer. Oh, he got on base. And then you're like, okay, Baez is gonna strike out. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm like, or double play or something like that. And no hesitation. First pitch, and the call by Benetti was a big league call. I don't know how many people heard it.
Yes.
Dickerson, too.
Dickerson, too. Big league call.
Both calls.
It is just so great to be able to see that.
Javi Baez won't stop. That's what he said.
But again, as fans, too, do you acknowledge Maz? And I think on our thread last night, specifically on the chat, you know, you and Neil were getting after each other. And,
of course.
People have such a hard time saying they were wrong. I'm not calling Neil out. But
You could.
Yeah,
Neil or whoever. For whatever reason, we as a human race have such a hard time just to say, I got it wrong.
Right.
And probably 90% of that is probably internal, but there's a piece of that people have a hard time admitting they were wrong because other people don't let you be wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody lets you be wrong. They rub it in your face.
Right.
And when that happens, you just double down further. I used to do that with Malik Willis. You know, I wanted to be so right about Malik Willis, not because I was right about him or cared about being right. I was just so tired of these people. So, Malik Willis. 4 years later, I'll remember my first radio job. I'll never forget. Can I tell you a quick story?
Go ahead,
Please.
My first radio job, I had no idea what I was doing at all. Shouldn't have had the job at all. I went to interview for a job at WDFN as a sports update guy. Wanted to do the sports update where you get the sports, you read it for 2 minutes, you're reading off a script. It's like a
Great job.
Great job. Sports updates, top and bottom of each hour. Yeah. I went to interview, got a call a couple days later. How would you like your own show? Who's going to say no?
Right.
I had no idea what I was doing. Never did radio before. Was going to read a 2-minute sportscast. I was so unprepared for the job. And not only that, it was without a co-host.
Oh, wow.
Old school.
So it was, you
One
look
man shows are
up
hard.
train wreck in the dictionary. That was this. It was
God.
horrible. And I say that because there was a time on there where I was talking about Gerald Laird. Remember former Tiger Gerald Laird?
Yes.
Gerald Laird was
He hit
hitting-
about 210.
No, less than that.
Yeah.
Less than
195.
You tucked the Mendoza.
Gerald Laird was hitting under 200. And I'm on some Tigers rant. I'm just trying to get to the commercial break. I mean, I'm like, it's like 12 minutes in, or 12
hard.
minutes ago. I'm just trying, please, please, what can I do?
Get a phone call.
Please, somebody call.
Call me.
Please.
Tom,
I
we
couldn't-
can feel
couldn't
him,
wait.
Tom.
Please
Who's
call
calling?
me.
We can feel the pain.
And so I said, oh, Gerald Laird is so bad. I said, I could hit 200 in the major leagues.
Ooh.
People still to this day will tweet me about, oh, here's the idiot that thinks he can hit 200 in the major leagues. And I have said I cannot hit 200 in the major leagues. I could not hit 100 in the major leagues. I cannot hit 10 in the major leagues. No matter how many times
Yes.
I say
Doesn't
it was
matter.
the dumbest take in the history of radio. It does not matter. Some bozo will say, this is the guy that said he could hit 200 in the
Right.
majors.
Right.
So people don't apologize. And I think that's kind of like the situation with Neil Rule last night, to bring it full circle. He would not say he's sorry for all the Javi Baez hate. that
He had a
has
good
given.
run. Neil had a good run with it. But it's over.
It's very symbolic.
Let's get those eggplants out there. That's the way he threw those eggplants at me. Let's shoot those eggplants tomorrow at Big D Energy. Help me out, guys.
You understand that, though, Bray? I mean, you know, people just don't say, I got it wrong. Got it wrong. No problem. Got it wrong.
I actually like,
I
I
was
love
wrong.
when you, because you learn
know
in
what?
those moments, though.
Not only do I love it, I trust you more. I don't trust you more because you had an inaccuracy. I trust you more that you understand what the truth is.
And that's also
feel
learned
like
behavior.
You can't handle the
You
truth.
can't handle the
But I appreciate that, Jack. I don't think people like you to say you were wrong. Because if you say you're wrong, you keep the fuel. You keep the fire. Like when you say, you know what, you got a valid point, I was wrong. What do you mean? Keep arguing. They want to keep the tension. They want to keep it going, as opposed to, you know what, you made a valid point, got a chance to kind of rewatch some things. Hey, I think you were right. Now it's gone. Now it's the sizzle. You de-arm somebody. Some people live off the negativity. Some people live off being able to and you de-arm them, and now they don't have anything to be mad about.
You know what I always say about when they bring up Malik to me?
Yeah.
A Mazleak, as Mikey G calls me. I just say, hey, he's the backup quarterback. He's one step away from. He's won a couple of NFL games already. He's with the Packers, a terrific organization. Malik Willis will still be a very good quarterback. That's what I say.
4 years later, Malik Willis still a backup quarterback. Meanwhile, out of that 2020 first round class, how many of them guys got a job?
Yep. Amen.
5 in the first round, 5 in the first 13 picks. How many of them really are close to being quarterback again?
Steve-O Baby says, Ryan, you also did Detroit Sports 1051. Yeah, but I
Yes.
wasn't nearly as bad back then. We had a great team.
We did.
You know, we had a great team. We just didn't have an opportunity to continue it along. That was actually we had a really good show.
Ricky
back then.
Ricky has our job.
Yeah,
now.
I mean,
about
the
that.
station
Good job.
flipped.
Yeah.
The station flipped, but we had a good thing going over
Sure
there.
did.
Absolutely.
I had
Sure
just
did.
gotten over to 105.1. That's when they went to FM again, right?
Yeah.
I was coming over
Uh-huh.
there. And right in Oak Park, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I
Yep.
literally.
It was greater
They're still
media.
there.
At
I was
the
taking
time.
over
Now
for
it's
Lindsay
Beasley, yeah.
with two Joes and a pro.
Yeah.
I was going to take over that job because Lindsay had just gotten the job with coaching assistant basketball.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And they gave me the job. I did like a week. I think I did one with Sean or somebody. And
Yeah.
then, was it Sean I was with?
No, I did Sean. We had the morning show.
Well, whoever did the two Joes and the pro was on that show. And
Might have been
then
Dave
a week-
Shore.
There it is.
Yep.
A week later after I signed the contract, there's like, yeah, we're going to FM.
Yeah.
Just a Fan says, and Just a Fan, you know, a great listener here, and we value the participation. If I'm going to brag about how smart I am, I need to accept eating crow when I'm wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, who's not doing? Is there a time limit on eating crow? Is what I'm saying.
Right.
Because I don't get credit when I say that. Aiden Hutchinson is going to wind up with more Heisman votes than Kenneth Walker. I don't hear that. I don't get constant praise for that. Like, is there a timeline? I don't get constant praise for being the only one that said Michigan's going to beat Ohio State in 21 and 22.
We called the national championship.
Yeah, you did.
Before it was cool.
Yeah.
I don't get. It's not like I get constant praise for when I was right. So I'm asking you, Just a Fan, is there a time limit for eating crow? Because if there is, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
But a lifetime of eating crow over a bad sports take, I'm just not going to accept. I'm going to assume you're the bozo, and I'm going to move on.
Accept it.
Yeah, they're definitely bozos. Like people, it just is what it is. That's why people will never like something,
Right.
but they dislike things all the time.
Hey,
Right.
Guess who's going for the sweep tonight? The Tigers are going for the sweep tonight, and Tarek Skubal
Oh,
is getting the ball. I'm going down to Comerica. I'm locked and loaded.
Can I say one
Man,
thing
I
about the
was talking-
Tigers that kind of does suck a little bit? And Braylon, you keep relating, this regime to the Lions.
It's only May.
'Cause
This,
that's the only time they listen.
well, yeah, that's true. But this baseball team feels a little bit Lions-esque in that they're off to one of the greatest starts in the history of the franchise, and they cannot pull away from the Indians and the Royals.
Ain't that something?
They cannot pull
That's
away.
amazing.
they're good too, man.
The AL Central is now the NFC North.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Royals.
Yes.
They
won like 7 in a row.
They won like 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
They won like 15 out of 17 or
Crazy.
something like that.
I'm glad you brought the Kansas City Royals. I never knew that Bobby Wood Jr. was that fast.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
dude.
I went down
Might
the
be among the fastest in the game.
Well, he is because I went down the rabbit hole the fastest.
By the way,
home-
Javi's numbers are better than his. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm just talking about the speed.
I know. I'm just joking.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that white boy was that fast. Like I was watching from home to first, and they were doing like the fastest player in the league. He was third, like 4.01.
He's a
That
fast
joker
guy.
can move, man.
Pretty interesting stuff, man. I'll tell you, I'm so jacked for this Tigers team, and it's a fun year. And then, there's another element to it, and that's how many people get to see the games.
Yeah.
And, what we do on the Fox 2 show earlier, we showed a highlight of that, and people, like, have their tag board comments that they tweet. A lot of people are not watching the Tigers because it is an elevated sports package within your Comcast, or people just aren't paying for some crappy app.
Prime.
Right.
Well, if you love
got Prime.
baseball,
That's not
And you-
true, though. But if you can't afford it, you can't afford it.
Right.
I know a lot of people that love baseball that have cable that just aren't going to pay the extra money for the elevated sports package.
wait till we talk later about what ESPN's doing.
Yeah,
They have a standalone now for $30 a month.
I might probably not do that. Why do we need ESPN?
Well, I get it through my cable,
Yeah,
which
I
is
do too.
DirecTV now,
Yeah.
but it's still a cable company that includes
That's true. ESPN just a different show, but either way, guys, you want to do Lions leaks or you want to do NBA next? You tell me.
Oh, everything is so good.
Everything is so.
Everything
good.
is. Let's do.
All right, let's everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat. You want a little Lions leaks, schedule leaks, or do you want us to do a little NBA, incredible NBA stuff last night? Let us know. Whatever you say, that's
say-
what we'll do next.
Great sound too.
How about that? But first, a message from Buddy's. Buddy's Pizza, everybody. They created the category for the original Detroit-style pizza. Been serving it up since 1946. 22 locations in Michigan. There's always a Buddy's Pizza near you. Buddy's is the cornerstone of the city of Detroit. Here for 79 years. Dedicated community partner. Notable partnerships as well. Michigan Humane, Salvation Army, and Detroit Zoo, and so much more. And they got one hell of a pizza. Get one today or 2 or 3. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10MEAL. That's the number 10 and then MEAL. Go find a location near you. Buddy'sPizza.com. Buddy'sPizza.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
All right, look, check this out, man. With all these streaming prices, and you may not be able to see your Detroit Tigers, this is a way that you can do it. This is a vibe, man. Welcome to the White Claw Tigers Tour. Featured Woodward Sports, man. May 23rd, we will be at McShane's downtown. That will be the heaviest. Heavyweights will take care of that one for us. Nemo's right there, right around the corner. For Michigan and Trumbull, you know what it is. June 13th, second best. Partner with Woodward Sports, Love and the Death. June 19th, right down the street from LCA. And then the old Miami, right around the corner from LCA on June 29th. This is Easttown Distributors and Ben Johnson Law. Come be a part of Woodward Sports and hang out. It is the watch party. We'll be watching the Tigers games. They're the best team, not only in the division, not only in the AL, but they're the best team in baseball right now. So come check us out.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We are, look, it's clear. I put it out there to the people, and everybody wants Lions now, so that's what we're going to give you. We will talk NBA later in the show, though, because there's been some great stuff there as it relates to that. But Lions leaks have come out. The NFL schedule will be revealed tonight, and let me go to Maz first and foremost before we do anything. Just big picture, Maz. Do you like the leak or you hate the leak?
I hate the leaks.
Hate the leak.
Can't we have anything? I mean, do you want to know your Christmas gifts when you were a kid? Well, I know you wanted to sneak and look at a few of them, but do you want to see the whole damn thing, or do you want to wait till Santa delivers your packages? Sure, give me one or two. But the Dolphins and Giants' entire schedule is out.
It's like the mixtape era all over again.
I mean, what are you doing? It's like when you watch the draft and these jackasses already telling you who the pick is. Now, Ryan, during the draft, I shut my phone off.
I did too, a little bit.
Not a lot, though, because I saw you go out there and put out a couple. You ruined a couple surprises for me.
Really?
I think you did.
I don't know, because
maybe I'm wrong.
You know what? I will say this. Sometimes I think it's the cable. I think things happen.
Like it's a delay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you will text me about a Tigers home run, and I haven't seen it yet.
Right. No, all of our houses get the
I'm
TV.
like, what are you doing?
I know.
What's happening? What's about to happen?
Yeah, I'll get no app alerts.
No, because I didn't do that.
Okay. Well, I apologize. Maybe it was last year. Anyway, I don't want to see who the pick is. I want to see it on television. I want to hear the noise. Ricky, can you play the NFL sounder? I want to hear the sounder. Thank you.
You got to hear the sounder.
I want to hear that. And I want to hear Mel Kiper complain about it. That's what I want. I don't want to know 5-10 minutes before. I don't want to see it. And now every single game basically is out. I think there are 8 Lion games that have been leaked. I think I have 4 of them here that I can guarantee you.
Let's show some of those.
We will. Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Let's start it off with the Lions opener. They are going to open at Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. That's going to be a 4:30 game, and I'm pretty sure that'll be on Fox.
4:30, 4:25 on Fox. Lions at Packers to open up the season. And, you know, the great thing about this is you do play in Green Bay in September and not January.
There you go.
For an indoor team, and I guess the Lions could play anywhere. We believe that, I think. But I do think that's important to play these outdoor games.
Sure.
You know, in cold weather cities. You play and may the best team win.
Quick question, man. Let me ask you. As it relates to the draft itself, my advice for you would be to you gotta watch that on low, and you got to flip your phone over. It just is what it is. You gotta watch on mute. You gotta flip your phone over. It is what it is. As it relates to the schedule, the whole totality of the schedule comes out tonight, correct?
Yes.
What's the difference between a couple hours for you getting a full schedule versus all 17 games?
I don't know, man. I just give me a couple, but give me something to watch tonight. Now I will not even watch it.
All right.
I will not watch the schedule release tonight. I'll just watch Twitter. Dave Burkett and everyone else will tell me who we're playing. I'll double check it on the Lions Twitter, make sure it's all good. Earlier today, Jordan Schultz put out that we were going to play Thanksgiving against the Vikings, and then also we were going to be at the Vikings on Christmas.
Right.
Well, it turns out he had jumped the gun. He had misread his tweet. So the official thing is Lions at the Vikings on Christmas Day.
Right.
On
hate
Netflix.
that, actually.
And I hate it.
It's a Netflix game, so I hate that aspect of it. And then Braylon, to play on Christmas Day or anything like that, to play on Thanksgiving and Christmas, doesn't that kind of suck?
Yep.
Sucks for the beat writers. I'll tell you that for
Sucks
sure.
for those of us that do pre and post.
It does, but it is what it is. Everybody that's coming there in your family, everybody's going to come in town for the holiday, or if you're already at home, everybody comes. They understand what you do for a profession. They understand how you get paid, and they understand how you're able to fly all of them in for said holiday. So it corrects itself. But to your point as a player, like those primetime games, you start to realize later in your career, they're very annoying, especially on the holidays. You got a lot going on. It makes it even more special when you can get those teams to dial in and have success on the holidays consistently. But the Green Bay game, I like that for the Lions.
If you were a Lion, if you were a player for the Lions or a coach, would you rather play on Christmas or would you rather go overseas?
I knew exactly what
There
you
you
were going
go.
to say.
Me
I'd
too.
rather play on Christmas.
Me too.
Yeah,
Now,
at least
the
you're
poor
home.
Vikings, we'll get to them. They have back-to-back Europe games.
Oh.
Back-to-back games. First time that has ever happened for the Vikings.
Terrible.
That means they don't trust him.
It's the first time they're doing it, and the NFL does these things because
They did it to Jacksonville
they're
last year.
testing us. No, this is the first time a team is playing back-to-back games in 2 different countries.
Oh, 2 different countries.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
2
okay.
different countries.
Okay. I thought the same spot. I'm like, that happened
Back-to-back
last
in
year.
London, Jacksonville, but this is Germany or Ireland and London or Germany and
Yep.
one of them. I don't even know.
But I would also pay attention to the team that they sent over there. It's a team that, it's a huge brand. It's a big name. They got Justin Jefferson. But it's a team that the NFL is definitely not sure on how good.
But now that you have to go to people's houses. But before you had your kids, when you have your kids, people are coming to your house. When your kids grow, other people are having their kids. So now you got to go to other people's homes.
What if they don't have Netflix?
Exactly. And I have a cousin that we go to his house. They don't have cable. They don't have anything.
What?
So
I'm not
last
coming.
year-
Hey, you can't host.
I'm not coming.
Last
You can't
year,
host.
I
You're not
watched
family.
the games on my phone at their house.
No, I'm good.
And I remember in '99 we played the Broncos, and it was a home game. You remember that, right?
I
Yeah.
do.
Ray?
Yeah, 100%.
We lost that game.
It was a year before the Sil.
My
for
mother-in-law, I went to the game. My mother-in-law threw a hissy fit that, God, first they play on Thanksgiving. First she thinks that should be abolished. Nobody should play on Thanksgiving. But she's used to it now. Now Thanksgiving? Now Christmas? Oh, my God. Forget it. And Dave Burkett, the minute it came out, he wrote, oh, man, SH, blah, blah, blah. That's tough, man.
Well, if you have
Is
young,
it?
if you have young kids and you have to travel and play on Christmas, yeah, it sucks. And and you're allowed to think it sucks, and you're allowed to hate it because you just are. You're already giving up Thanksgiving, basically as a Lions fan. Now you got to give up Christmas. Yep. But that's what you have to do because you're either playing on a holiday or you're going overseas. That's what it is. And the NBA used to own Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Right.
The NBA is a total and complete afterthought on Christmas Day
Yes.
now to me. The NBA season didn't even start until Christmas Day for a lot of people.
They're going to try to own Black Friday now, by the way. They will follow, I think, a triple header after the NFL game. Will be three. Everything's going to be on, what do you call it, on Prime. NBA's on Prime, too, now, with the new contract. They're going to follow up on Black Friday, is what I read. Now, to me, Thanksgiving is the Lions, is football. Christmas isn't.
Christmas would be the Chiefs. That's what they're trying to make happen. They're the first team to play on there. They're playing again this year. They're trying to designate them like they did the Lions back in the day.
The Chiefs want that.
Yeah.
They wanted Thanksgiving, if you remember. They were one of the teams that were complaining about the Lions. Speaking of the Chiefs.
It works better for the Chiefs because their colors are red. They have Christmas colors
Good
in
point.
them.
Hey, we play the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football in Week 6.
Nice.
There it is.
gonna be a
At
good matchup.
Arrowhead.
Is this one official?
That's official.
Man, the Lions have a lot of just every schedule is a game of the week type schedule. I mean, if you look at any game on there, even Cleveland, I could make an argument that Lions-Cleveland could be a primetime game because don't you want to give Shedeur Sanders at least a couple of looks on primetime?
Yeah.
He is going to be a ratings machine. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, but you got an opinion on him.
Yeah.
And that's what draws eyeballs to Cleveland Browns games.
Well, congratulations. You're good. Like, congratulations to the city of Detroit. Your Lions are good. This is what's happened with all the franchises that have been good for a sustainable amount of years. They get the primetime game. Pittsburgh, they haven't been necessarily that good in forever. Stay on primetime. The teams that are big, the teams that are popular, they play on primetime. And the Lions, on primetime in the last 4 years under Dan Campbell, they have not disappointed. They've either won or scored extreme amount of points in all the games they played in primetime. So they are the primetime brand this year. So what do you want to do? Let's put them with other primetime brands. And you're going to see a lot of that moving forward in the future time.
Guys, do we have a bad audio or anything like that? I see a couple of people say they got to go because the audio is bad. Is that we're like
Just looking fine.
in my ear? It sounds perfect.
Yeah, we sound good.
So I'm not sure what some of the issue is. Let us know. If we don't.
We had a stream burp about 5 minutes ago, so if you're watching on YouTube, just reload your, do the refresh.
Yeah, hit refresh if you're watching on YouTube. We did have a stream hit. So if it's bad, hit refresh, and we should be good again.
May I be right for another minute? I told you. What did I tell you the last game of the year would be for the Lions? You remember?
No.
But you did. You said the Bears. You said the Bears.
It's the Bears. 670 to score in
Where at?
Chicago. At Chicago. Week 18.
No, I don't love that.
Neither do I.
That's a
I thought it would be Bears at Lions. It's
Hey.
Lions at Bears. That's from 670 to score.
Let me tell you.
I'm pretty sure they're right, but again, who the hell knows?
Let me just tell you, as a former player, Chicago in December and January is no. Like December and January. One, the lake effect. Hell, you think we got lake effect here? Lake Michigan in December and January, man. It was last time I played there in December. I was with the Jets. We got snowed in, mind you. They had to shovel off the field. It was cold as hell. The wind comes in there, it's swirling. You're really just ready to get out of there. Like, realistically, you're like, all right, we'll try. They got this one. You're really just trying to make it out of there late. And the field is terrible. It's this thick grass. It's frozen. It's tough. It's an ugly place to play.
Bray,
In December.
as the schedule does come out tonight, as a player, how did you look at the schedule? What were you looking for? Were you looking for prime time? Were you looking for furthest game away? What were you looking for?
Oh, you're young. You're just looking for Monday Night Football. You want to be on Monday Night Football. You want to be on the avenue that you've seen growing up your whole life. You want to make a play. Like, when I think of Monday Night Football, the play for me that comes to mind is the very first instant replay that mattered. And it was the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. And I know, man, as you remember, the
know
ball
it.
falls off of Chris Dishman's chest. Antonio Freeman takes it, and he runs in for a touchdown. But anyway, so you want
One
to
of Al Michaels' best calls.
It was. You try to get some
He
money.
did what?
And it was to win the game, essentially. So, but you're looking for Monday Night Football, then you're looking for prime time because you realize if you're on prime time, your team is good. So and then you're looking for the count. How many times? Where are those prime time games? As you get older, you start to look at the schedule as a professional. Now I'm looking at, all right, how much time do I have in the space of this Sunday night game? When's the Monday night game? When's this? What do I need to do to be ready? So it's how many you have, who they're against, and now you're looking at the distances and what I need to be and how this week is going to be and who we play, and it's a lot. But as you get further into the year, as you get further into your professionalism in the sport, then you start to pay attention to things that really matter.
Last year, I don't think we played a division game right away. Am I correct?
Don't know. I'd have to go
How
back
about
and look.
this? The
First
Bears
one would have been the Vikings.
I'm on the Bears right now. The Bears open at home week
the
1
road.
on Monday Night Football against the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, they're in Detroit. And then week 18, Detroit is at Chicago.
Detroit.
So there it is. Look, Lions, Packers, Lions, Bears to open up the season.
Beautiful.
But
Pretty cool.
this is the conference that they carry. This is the
Yeah.
division that's getting all the buzz right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Didn't see a divisional opponent until week 7
See?
last
was
year.
it the Vikings?
It was at Minnesota.
Told you.
You mentioned Minnesota. You mentioned Chicago. Obviously, Green Bay is in there. Let me ask you this question. Even though it's a Wednesday, it's a fill in the blank. Okay, of those 3 teams, Vikings, Bears, Packers. Finish this sentence. I would be shocked if blank finished last in the division. I would be blank
Green Bay Packers.
if blank the Packers.
Packers.
You would be shocked if they finished last in the division.
Say what you want to about them last year. I think they still have the right coach for what they're trying to do. Their defense got better. The defense is good. And then Jordan Love, this is a comment Maz would make, but I'll make it for him. He really was hurt in that beginning of that season. And it
bet
took
he
him
was.
a while to get back. And then you saw him get better towards the end of the year. I would be surprised because they have their coach, they have their quarterback, and they have their identity. They drafted a wide receiver. I would be confused with them.
That's Bears to me. Bears.
You'll be shocked if the Bears finish last.
I do believe they are ripe and ready to blossom like the Lions did a few years ago.
A lot of people in the chat. Andrew says Packers. It's funny. Three posts in a row. Andrew says Packers. U of M Dad says Vikes. Nicholas says Bears. I mean, it's all up and down. It just goes to show you how good the division is.
It's fantastic.
Michael says Packers. Steven says Vikings. Willie says Vikings. Nicholas says Bears. Adiz, Vikings have a rookie quarterback. You know, it's interesting, too, because look at these young quarterbacks. Jordan Love, what's this, his 3rd year?
6th.
No, I'm saying as a starter.
3rd.
3rd year as a starter. Caleb Williams, 2nd year as a starter. J.J. McCarthy, 1st year as a starter. When you talk about in terms of experience, it is Jared Goff that by far and away has the experience, more experience than all of these quarterbacks combined in the NFC North. That has to matter for something, does it not?
No, it definitely has to matter for something. You know, he has that experience, and he has that experience to the tune of he's been to a Super Bowl already. He's seen what that looks like. He didn't come away victorious, but he knows what it looks like. So that experience is there. But you look at the coaching. Matt LaFleur is the most established coach in the division in terms of what he's done with Aaron Rodgers, now with Jordan Love. You look at Ben Johnson. He's a rookie coach. Kevin O'Connell is still year 3, year 4. So I think that plays a factor into it as well.
You might be able to reverse that question. Who would you be shocked to see win the NFC North?
Oh, God.
Chicago.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
You'd be
for
shocked.
sure.
They won 14 games last year.
Just because of the.
And they have JJ, your guy.
I love them. I would be shocked if they
They have an easy schedule.
if with a rookie quarterback with 2 international games.
Yep.
A Christmas game, a holiday. Their schedule is brutal. Like the actual physical schedule itself
Yep.
is brutal. I would be shocked if they won the division.
That's correct.
Minnesota Vikings for me.
Crazy thing about Minnesota, though, you just look at them, and Matt, you always say this: it doesn't matter who the coach is, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They find 10 wins and they find the playoffs.
They do.
With the exception of like 1 year, I think it was 2 years ago. They find Sam Darnold was on his way out of the league. Here's 14 wins. Kirk Cousins, here's 12, 11 wins every season. So now this team has gotten better on the defensive side of the ball. And the offensive side of the ball, the offensive line has gotten better. So whoever's playing a quarterback, obviously we know it's JJ. He's the guy. He's going to be protected, and he is going to have a bevy of weapons to throw to.
Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And I guess I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears finished last, but I am not a Caleb Williams guy.
I agree.
And I could be wrong about it, and if I am, I am. Time will tell.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn real quick,
It's that seat that you're sitting in, because, Anson hates him too.
I don't hate him. I just don't think.
You don't believe the hype? That's my thing. I just don't believe the hype.
I don't believe you can get away with things in the NFL that you can get away with in college.
Yeah.
And, especially dating back to college, I went back and looked at this last year, and I'm not going to get the stat perfectly correct, but I think every single game that he started in college at Oklahoma and UCLA, -2, he lost the ball. He fumbled the ball or threw an interception in every single one of those games except for 2. I believe that's what my research suggested. Now, he didn't lose the fumble, but he fumbled the ball. And I just think when you're playing fire, you play that reckless with the football. I don't think it doesn't relate to the NFL. It doesn't correlate to the NFL. And when you have all day to escape in college, it doesn't translate to me. Now, fair or unfair, he was poorly coached last year. I think that our guy from Toledo, Eberflus, was a terrible coach.
Yes.
And should not have been a head coach in this league.
I agree.
It was clear. I mean, he just shouldn't have been. So he was poorly coached. So we'll give him a little bit of a grace period for that. But if he can't get it going with Ben Johnson, then we'll know really quick whether he's got it or not.
I agree with you on the last part. Just going back to the first part you said, if you want to go back and do that, we can do that with every quarterback that was drafted in the first round, and we could find tons of things that they did in college that they were able to change in the NFL.
I acknowledge that.
You're right. You can't do that. You can't play that loose with the football. You can't turn the ball over that and expect to win. But Lincoln Riley wasn't necessarily the best coach. Take out the wins, for example. When he got to USC, in terms of the team, they didn't have the best team. He's out there freewheeling. He's out there doing backyard football to try to keep this USC teams in games. They were a little bit, but they were like Colorado. 2 years ago, we talked about Colorado in terms of what that team was with offensive line and NIL and transfer portal. That's how USC was. So a lot of that, him losing the football, that's him playing hero ball because that's how USC almost got into the playoffs 2 years ago. So it will change, and I think Ben Johnson will be able to have different conversations. Jared Goff wasn't doing any of that, but there was some things that Jared Goff suffered with. Small hands, remember that connotation, fumbling the football. These are things that you can work on in practice. These are things that you can work on in the offseason. And I think that if that's the complaint, I think he'll be able to get that fixed off. Now, some other stuff, I think that's going to take growth, and that part I do not know about.
Hey, a couple of other of the major leaks, and we haven't heard officially on Thanksgiving, but it looks like the Packers perhaps on Thanksgiving at Ford Field. But
that's what I'm hearing.
Game number 2 will be the Kansas City Chiefs at the Dallas Cowboys. And that's going to be a good one.
Man, Dallas is in again, it's Thanksgiving, but
last year was the Giants.
Feels like
Cowboys.
Feels like Dallas is in a bunch of premier spots, and maybe that's because you got this highlighted game on Thanksgiving.
They're leading the year off too.
The Eagles game to lead up. Like, why you as a league think that you have to continue to elevate this Dallas Cowboys team who has not truly been relevant in 30 plus years? I just don't understand that. You don't have to do it.
No, man.
It's not the Lakers with Kurt Rambis.
I mean,
it's like
the Cowboys.
Huh?
I like watching them. I don't know what it is. They're historic. I love watching them. I love their uniforms. They own Thanksgiving with us, second brother to us. I don't know. When the Cowboys are on, I'm interested. And first, I'm an NFC guy. So if you give me an NFC team, I'm going to be more likely to turn it on. And to watch them, it reminds me of Roger Staubach. It reminds me of Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and those guys. I understand that, not that. It's 30 years. I get it.
Now make yourself a 28 to 35-year-old fan.
It's still the Dallas Cowboys. They play in a fancy stadium.
But that doesn't mean anything to that doesn't mean anything to somebody who's 30 years old.
Yeah. You don't think if Dallas went across the pond and played, they would break the record for people to go watch them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about I don't think they deserved it.
Well,
I think that's an earned spot.
I get it.
The earned spot to what Maz is talking about, and I'm actually going to agree with Maz on this side. It's the brand. It's what the brand brings. It is the most expensive brand in the NFL. It's the third most expensive brand, period. Only behind the Lakers and the Patriots. They are the brand. Everybody's talking about the Cowboys every year. Even now, we're in Detroit. We're talking about them. We think they suck. Like whether you're cheering, whether you turn it on because you hate them, or whether you turn it on because you like them. The minority. People are going to watch the Cowboys just to have the conversations about why are they on TV.
They're the Billy Martin Yankees of the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like that.
That's what they are.
The Billy Martin Yankees
but they still were good.
The Billy Martin Yankees were good.
Well, hold on. With the exception of the last 2 years, the Cowboys were winning 13 games a year. They just suck in the playoffs.
What about Bucky Dent?
13.
Bucky Bleepin' Dent in Boston.
Bucky
By the way,
Dent.
Chiefs Broncos on Christmas Day as well. They will follow the Lions game also. I think that's either Prime or that will be on Netflix.
Is that the battle for the division?
It could be. It could be.
Just the fact that
I got the best one for you.
What's that?
The Jets and the Steelers in Week 1. The Jets and the Steelers.
What?
The Jets with Justin Fields. The Steelers with Aaron Rodgers.
Like a college.
Oh my God.
How about that?
I wouldn't watch it, but I'm not mad at it.
If you didn't know he's going there now.
That's really good.
I like it.
I love that. That's really good.
warm-up game for the season.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
But I had to get that one.
You absolutely had to.
Last year, the Jets had the most primetime games. This year, they have the least primetime games.
And they should. 2 years in a row, and it was a terrible watch.
It was Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's
terrible.
That's what happens.
So guess what? We're going to have to watch the team we hate to watch, the Steelers. We hate watching the Steelers.
Yeah.
They're going to be on a lot of prime time.
Because they're boring.
I think Aaron and DK Metcalf, and maybe they tweak some things.
Yeah.
Gives it a different aesthetic this year.
They'll liven it up a little bit.
I hope.
That primetime deal, when you're not usually a primetime team, is real. Playing for the Browns the first 3 years, no primetime games, no Monday night games, didn't know what that felt like. Sunday night football was the only thing that we had. Fast forward, we go 10-6, had 4 primetime games and 3 Monday night games, by the way, in 2008. Lost all our primetime games. In 2009, no primetime games. Like teams like that are sketchy, they're not going to reward you like year by year. It's a year by year situation. You ball this year,
Depends on your
we'll give you
talent.
more. I agree.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
My goodness.
Sketchy.
All right, guys.
So tune in tonight for the rest of the schedule release.
For the rest of the story.
We'll keep you posted, guys. Hey, keep leaking some Lion games to me.
Yep, we've got NFL, we've got Pete Rose, we've got NBA, lots coming up. Hour number 2 of the program. We're just getting started here, but first a message from Dr. Pierce.
He will be here tomorrow, guys. Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine, our expert sports injury man himself. Join him every Tuesday on Big D Energy. Joins us on Thursdays right here on The Big Show. Trust the guy that D-Mac, and you know I've been talking about it. Trust the guy that I'm telling you about, because I go twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, to have my elbows, both of them, worked on. Faith and Kara, my therapist, fantastic job. Yes, you saw me get the shot last week. I showed it to you. If I have to show it to you again tomorrow, I will. My elbow is feeling a lot better. Still got work to do on it. But if you got aches and pains, it could be anything, man. It could be your foot, your leg, your back, your hip. Michigan Sports and Spine. They're in Livonia. Give them a call. MichiganSportsandSpine.com, 248-426-9944. Tell them Maz sent you.
The boys of summer are ready to get back back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Now, I know you're tired of wearing the same old Detroit Sports. Come here, Stick. Yeah. Stick, show them the merch. Show them how we got the merch going, man. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. Get you a shirt like Stick's got, man. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed.
Hey, Javi Town, it's coming up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to get some hot. We still have Baez for mayor. I still think that's a good
one. Want that one too?
Yeah, let's do that. Guaranteed to turn heads, man. Everybody's going to ask you where you get your merch. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Shop.woodwardsports.com to get your merch. Go now.
And let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff like gimmies on the golf course. We like it uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, sign in. Before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Hour number 2 of the program, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway, Pete Spivak, Ricky Burns in the house, and you as well. Thanks to you guys for tuning in live or whenever you want here on YouTube. And
hey, Bears at Eagles on Black Friday.
Good for you.
Good for you, Jack.
Good for you.
There you go.
Okay, guys, we're going to continue on with the NFL here because this saga with Trey Hendrickson, it just leaves a little bit of a nugget. It just leaves a little crumb for any Lions fan that believes he is on the move. And it looks like he is on the move. This from Jordan Schultz, son of Howard Schultz of Starbucks, by the way. I like reminding people of that because I think it's fantastic. Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson said he received a text from head coach Zach Taylor 30 days before mandatory minicamp warning he'd be fined if he didn't show up, something that frustrated him, especially given the poor communication from the team throughout the offseason. Hendrickson also made it clear he will not play under the final year of his current contract. Good job. Good job, Trey Hendrickson. Good job, Trey Hendrickson. So, again, this is such a popular story here and around the league for two different reasons. First and foremost, I think every Lions fan, any fan of a football team in the country, would want this guy on your team. That's one.
Lions fans.
He's a great player, not a good player, a great player, and it looks like he may be available. Number 2, Trey Hendrickson, what happens with him here, I think is going to have ripple effects around the league because we've seen it before, and maybe we're going to see it again because As he stated yesterday, if he did not live up to that salary, to that contract, they would have cut him or they would have wanted him to take a pay cut. Now that he has surpassed expectations of that contract, he wants to get his money. Football is not like basketball. Football is not like baseball. Football players are some of the most underpaid professional athletes in sport.
Their shelf life is very short.
It's true.
Fact.
Yep.
It's true. Not for long.
Yeah.
I have something else.
Yeah.
I read today in Dominican Sue, I actually liked his post, liked Trey Hendrickson's post. And he talked about how the Lions lowballed him in 2014. When the season was over, 2014, you guys know the story, how they lost to Dallas, how they was stolen from them against Dallas. And he went to the podium and he cried because he knew that was his last game. And a lot of people thought that he wanted to get out of town. In reality, he didn't. He wanted to stay. And the Lions gave him a contract about $2 million less a year than the Dolphins offered him. And he chose to go to the Dolphins because, basically, despite the Lions, because he felt like he was lowballed twice. First time when they paid Stafford and not him. Second time he said, all right, you got to pay me on my second contract then. And he had a fantastic season, if you remember. That defense was fantastic. That team could have won the Super Bowl. They could have won the Super Bowl. They had Calvin Johnson, for crying out loud, and Ndamukong Suh, and a young Matthew Stafford. And he left, and he said, to this day, it still bothers me that I had to leave that team. Bray, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. Look, the problem is people don't understand as fans, when these things happen to players, you don't understand how young you are, how young-minded you are. You know what I'm saying? Why you hold on to it for so long. He wanted to be here. He was young. He was, 28, 27, 26. He's young, and it doesn't happen for him. You send him away. Your 26-year-old mind, the way you process it is, they didn't want me, they lowballed me, and it stays with you ever. Now, it's true in that case. Trey Hendrickson, he's a guy that does everything the right way for the Cincinnati Bengals club. I've researched, I've done some homework on him. He does everything the right way. You're talking about 72.5 sacks in the last 5 years. I'll say that again. 72.5 sacks in the last 5 years. He's been the pillar of consistency for that team. But we know the Bengals, they don't play defensive players. That's why we got DJ Reader. Right, they don't play defensive players. Joe Burrow, you got to pay him. You got to pay him. Yeah, 100% you got to pay him. Everything's work. Jamar Chase, I told y'all he was the best receiver a couple years ago. Told you. You got to pay him. T. Higgins is where it gets interesting for Trey Hendrickson. When you're on the defensive side of the ball and you've been balling since you guys went to the Super Bowl and everybody on the offense is getting paid, I think T. Higgins is the one where Trey Hendrickson and his squad is like, all right, they clearly don't want us here. For Zach Taylor to tell this man 30 days ago, if you don't come, you will be fine. Like, that's not even your conversation to have. Why is the owner passing you information to tell the player? Why couldn't the owner tell him himself, hey, this is what we're thinking. Do you have an issue with this is what we're going to do regardless? But you pass it to Zach Taylor, made him the fall guy in that situation. So it's ugly. Now you have a player that doesn't feel like his coach or his front office respects him or even likes him for that much. He's getting old business spill. He does not want to be there. And I don't think he will be.
Maz, let's hear from Trey Hendrickson. Do we have some of that sound?
We sure do.
It's about
it's very good.
It's about 3 minutes long, so we're going to play it, then we'll react.
At this point, do you want to be a Cincinnati Bengal?
Wow, that's a tough question, too, because you try not to let the business become personal. I think over the last week or so, it's become personal, unfortunately. And when there's a lack of communication in any relationship, if it's business or a personal relationship, lack of communication leads to animosity, and that leaves my narrative only to me with no clear direction. So the lack of direction, the lack of communication is leading to things that are allowing me to think about what's going to happen more than how great they have treated me over the last 4 years. Because let me say, my son was born, I've said it to everyone, my son was born right up the road. My wife worked at the Cincinnati VA. This is my home, and I wrote that yesterday. It's home. And unfortunately for myself, I have to deal with that kind of dilemma in my own, finding out business and personal. Because on the one hand, you see OTAs and you smell the grass, and it's football. And man, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love it. And on the other hand, there's a proper time for that. And there's a lot of things that have to change before that happens.
A quick follow-up to that. You talked about how the narrative in your statement yesterday. Why have you made the choice to go to the national media to talk about your side of things?
I think a lot of players in the past have been silent or didn't stand on values where telling the truth will set you free. It's a value my parents raised me with when I was young. As a follower of Christ, the truth is the way. And so to have these tough conversations and say the truth, right? I'm a Floridian, so there's unprovoked shark attacks and there's provoked shark attacks. And the comments that are being made, right? Whatever happened at the combine, whatever happened at the owners' meetings, and the text I got yesterday, this is not something where I'm just twiddling my thumbs thinking, oh, how can I get the next one up? Most of the teammates will agree. I don't spare my opinions. I kind of stay out of the media for that reason because I am an emotional player, and after a loss, it's a lot harder to talk than after a win, especially in the circumstances that we had last season. So I carry it with a tremendous amount of respect, but these things are provoked. I would love to say to sit quiet is a good strategy. It is clearly not. Players have done it all over the league, including Jamar last year. He did a great job being disciplined through the process, and great. I'm so proud of him and the way he handled adversity. I can't speak enough volumes, but he deserved a contract last year, he deserves it this year, and he deserves one in 5 years.
The problem is as the money's gone up, like now that the money is through the roof, now that a player like Trey Hendrickson is worth, let's just say $30 million for what the value is in his position, they don't want to pay these players anymore. They don't want to pay players. They've never respected the player in the same sense that they respect the front office guys. Like when they look at us at the table, it's what are they tripping for? They should be happy to get what we give them. They should be happy because they're making this money. Like $30 million is a DN. He should be happy if we give him 28, 26, 27. And now it's affecting other players and individuals like Trey Hendrickson that do everything the right way. As you can clearly see, they're speaking on it. They're making it make sense. And they're letting everybody in to the dirty side of the business table. And the business table is you're no longer just getting paid. If you do what you're supposed to do, like in Detroit, you're supposed to get taken care of. Well, franchises like the Cincinnati Bengals, like, let's just see. And then you, like he said it so beautifully. You have to mix the business with the personal, and that's when it gets hairy. You're thinking about all the positive moments. Son born down the road. Your wife, meeting your wife at the VA down the road. Smelling that grass in Cincinnati, although in Cincinnati you can't smell that good. But smelling the grass in Cincinnati and the life. But you're thinking about how bad they've treated you in the last 30 days. 30 days can negate a 4 years worth. And it jades you. And it turns you to a different individual. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, you'll be the best version of yourself for the team to do the best job that you can do. But when you have this hanging in the air, I don't get it. T. Higgins is still going to be the question for me. Like, he's a great player for what he does for them. But I wouldn't have paid him before I paid Trey Hendrickson. I'm just saying.
No way, man. You hit it on the head.
And that pissed Trey Hendrickson off.
There's no way that this guy can go back and play for this team now. I can't see it.
Nope.
He's called his coach out. He's called ownership out. He's called some players out because he said some players would agree with me. Ooh. This guy is a down-the-middle guy. You heard him. I stay away from the media because I'm a very sensitive guy. If I lose a game, I'm going to be pissed. I'm not going to say the right things. He is done. So now I ask the question to all the people that say you can't pay 2 defensive ends. And what do you pay 2 defensive ends for? Well, they paid 2 wide receivers. They went the offensive route, and they're going to have to beg, borrow, and steal to put a defense together. If I have to sign, I can't let this guy go to one of my enemies in the NFL. So I implore Brad Holmes and the Lions to really, I don't have to tell them this. They're going to do it. Dig down, and figure a way to get this guy. Figure a way to get this guy. I'm not telling you to trade for Deshaun Watson, who I thought was going to be a great quarterback again. when he was leaving Houston. I said, oh, man, we should throw our hat in the ring. Thank God we didn't. This guy ain't Deshaun Watson. This guy is straight down the middle, 17 and a half sacks, 2 straight years. He's second only to what, TJ Watt? He's in that company, guys, and he's still young. You don't let him go to Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay, and God knows not Philadelphia.
Right.
Please.
It totally feels like he is on his way to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
It just
Howie
does.
Roseman will
Just
do
does.
something. He got rid of like 6 guys off his Super Bowl
feels like an Eagle
team.
to me. And, you know, if you're Cincinnati, you're like, why would I pay this guy? I could pay Zadarius Smith $1.8 million to come in for a year and be a stopgap until we figure it out.
Yeah. That's the way the Bengals do business.
That's the way they do business. That's the way they are thinking.
So the problem with bringing Trey Henderson is you got to pay him this year. Now, he said he's not playing this season without the deal. So therein lies the issue. What is the deal? What is the worth? How do the Lions make that happen? And still, because you know what's coming down the pipe next season. At least we assume, based on what he's going to do this year. Number 97 is going to have to get paid. So what does that look like becomes the question.
Here's a way to do it.
This guy.
Just without even thinking about it, okay? Without even thinking about it for a minute, just off the top of my head. How can you pay Trey Hendrickson and Aiden Hutchinson, Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, and Giovanni Manu?
Lord.
By those 3 players on the offensive line working. That's how you would do it.
Oh, yeah?
So having a young offensive line that you don't have to pay.
How about Isaac Tesla and a wide receiver, too?
And Isaac Tesla.
He gets nothing.
So that way you won't have to pay J-Mo. Frank Ragnow can retire. Move out Taylor Decker. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, how does it work?
Yes.
That's how it works.
And God forbid, if you can't sign Brian Branch, but you're getting Trey Hendrickson, I'm in. I'm in.
That's how it works, I think. I don't know. Just off the top of my head, in the midst of a discussion, that's how I think it could work.
Hear me out when I say this, and this is no hate. Stop thinking that Isaac Tesla is about to replace Jameson Williams.
Not this year.
I understand. I'm saying in period.
I've got St. Brown, too.
I'm saying in period.
I've got St. Brown.
You said what?
I've got St. Brown.
But you said replace J-Mo. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying he's not better than J-Mo. In no world will Isaac Tesla ever be better than Jameson Williams.
I love that.
Jameson Williams won national championship. Isaac Tesla didn't even start.
I love
So pipe down.
that.
I'm still a J-Mo guy.
So are we.
Oh,
hey, you know, it's my opinion.
Like, that is your most passionate take of the year.
Just saying.
Of the year.
Hey,
I love it.
I watched what he did against Georgia and that year. Like, you do not play as well as he played. Like, and just forget about, like, somebody else can. Oh, yeah, he's good. Yeah, you'll replace him. All right.
I love your Isaac Tesla. I just
I-
want
but
you
I-
to know.
but I-
I
but
just
I-
want
but
you-
I do
I
like-
need you to know.
I
I
appreciate it.
love your take on Isaac Tesla.
I think he can be good, but
Can I
a
say
lot
this to
has
you?
to go into that. Yeah.
Listen, Mr. Receiver, can I say this to you? What did you just say about the Bengals? You said that T. Higgins basically didn't need to get signed.
Right.
Because you have Jamar Chase. Well, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, he's not Chase.
Right.
But we have Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Jameson Williams, to me, is T. Higgins. If I have to give T. Higgins up to sign Trey Hendrickson, I'm going to do that absolutely.
Okay. Understood. I didn't
Because
mean-
my offense is superb. I don't need J-Mo.
Right.
I've got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to go along with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And who knows? Maybe Tesla will be the next Cooper Kupp. I don't know.
No, and I understand that. I was just simply saying that he's not better than
Of
J-Mo.
course not.
And he won't be better than J-Mo. That's all I said. And then in terms of with T. Higgins, I said him getting paid is what pissed Trey Henderson off. That's what I said.
I totally agree with you. And it probably shouldn't have been the case. But
you get it, though.
it's almost like
I'm glad it is the case.
I am too, but I am the king of make what you do great even greater. And if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, what do you do great? You score
Offense,
points.
yeah.
You do offense great.
Right.
You make it greater. You can't let T. Higgins go, but I understand your point. You can't let Trey Hendrickson go either. Guys, we're going to take a break. We go around the NFL, a little NBA as well. Pete Rose,
NBA.
should he get in? Should he get out? But first, a message from Tom Hathaway.
All right. I am sitting in it, the granddaddy of them all. Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. Top brands for massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki, located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort by Eric Duncan, the doctor, the wellness doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit right now at massagechair.com. Scan the QR code. Do what you got to do. But get the Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Oh yeah, everybody. We are the numero uno sports digital media platform around this entire beautiful globe that we live on. 6 ways for you to check out our programming 7 days a week on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch. Come like, share, join, subscribe. Come be a part of our family. We love you guys out there. Thanks for supporting Woodward Sports.
There's no judgment at Planet Fitness. They have a ton of rooms for you. They got state-of-the-art cardio room. They have state-of-the-art equipment as it relates to abs, the abdominales, as they like to call it. Then they got all the machines that you need for lifting weights, man, and getting swole. You gotta get swole because your fitness is essential. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the gym for you because it's the gym for everybody. Come on down. There's no judgment. The fitness fits into your budget, and then it's super clean. In fact, it's squeaky clean. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Greg, 2025, $20.
$20.
Give Maz any drink he wants.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
What drink did you talk about?
Diet Coke with lemon.
What about Rando Smalls?
Diet Coke with lemon.
$5. Let's see who out of JMO, Gibbs, Branch, and Laporta wants to break the bank. Rank those players for me.
What?
In terms of most important to. Okay,
Gibbs is one.
get rid of one. Get rid of one of them.
Laporta.
JMO, Gibbs, Branch, Laporta.
Gibbs, Branch, J-Mo, Laporta, in that order.
So you get rid of Laporta.
Yes.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I
agree.
I
Maz?
agree with that.
Me too.
I wouldn't.
Laporta.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just because, I mean, if you just go back, look at the production out of the tight end position that they got out of Brock Wright and Shane Zylstra, and at the time it was James Mitchell. I mean,
Yep.
3 role players each did something well to create one Sam Laporta,
Also,
and
too.
you didn't have to pay him.
So now I bring
I
up
love Sam Laporta. Don't get me wrong on
Right.
that, but I'm just look what we're talking about here. We're splitting hairs.
Sam Laporta is a really good tight end. Last year, he was injured a little bit. He missed his spot. And look, you didn't even necessarily know he wasn't there. Here's how I'll bring up Isaac Tesla again. This becomes the space for Isaac Tesla.
Correct.
This is where how they use Sam Laporta. This is where you use a big body wide receiver that's used to playing in the slot that also runs a low 4-4, 4-4-2-3-1 to be exact. So this is a great space for him. Sam Laporta, this will be an interesting year for him because if it's another year like this past year, yeah.
I agree with you, Bray.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
only
can
have
you-
Mike Gesicki.
Can you put up the remaining free agent edge rushers? I just want to see the list and
Yeah.
give everybody a chance to.
Remaining free agent
If
edge
you're
rushers?
watching on
Under
YouTube,
under the football.
Gotcha, buddy.
Von Miller, Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, Carl Lawson. What about Clowney and Miller, Bray?
No
Von
one-
Miller.
No one know.
No.
I know Von Miller personally.
The name
He's
is
a
big.
friend. The name is big, but look, I think Von Miller's greatest contribution was the 2021 Super Bowl. That year that he had, getting traded, the run that he went on. He even had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. He tore his ACL after Buffalo paid him. Nah, love him, but no. Jadeveon Clowney, I don't know how he's lasted this long. He's been stout, but yet again, you're not trying to bring in older guys that cost and that are gonna maybe not even play. You know,
Who's
60%
the Michigan
of your
running
game.
back he blew up?
I remember that.
If not Fitzgerald Toussaint, I always forget.
I always forget too.
Like 28.
Yeah, he had a lot.
I thought it was
The
like number
the
2.
channel, though.
I thought it was number 2.
The channel put it right up.
Oh,
Please.
maybe it was. I was a
Remember
2
number
something.
2?
Yeah, I remember
I
the play.
forget,
for
it wasn't
sure.
before Blake Corum well before Blake
Oh,
Corum.
this is
That was a bad
Who did
game.
he blow up?
This would have been 20,
I forgot about that.
2011, 2013.
Something like that.
That was a bad team.
I was coming. Side note, you want a funny story about
Yeah,
that night?
please.
So they were playing South Carolina. It was the Citrus Bowl or Capital One, whatever it was. I was coming from a all-night high New Year's Eve.
Vincent
party.
Smith, thank you,
Vincent
Broder.
Smith was too.
Number 2.
Mr. Michigan,
you're
Broder.
good.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you,
Yeah,
Matt.
if you're familiar with Miami, the Club 11. I was leaving 11 right in time to see the hit.
I know about the Club 11 over here on Hoover in 696.
Oh, yeah.
Service Drive.
What type of establishment is that?
Oh, they got good
Club
food.
11.
They got good food, right?
Oh,
There you go.
man.
Same establishment, if you will.
Big League. Broder said, Broder, and by the way, hi, Matt Broder. We love you,
Mr.
buddy.
Broder?
I was in class with him that semester, and he was never the same after that. Oh, God.
Can you imagine showing your
Broder,
face?
we love you,
I
bro.
think Broder told me this story at Comerica Park, I think.
Oh, that's funny.
Forgot
That
about it.
is great. I wanted to get to this, move on if we could from the NFL for a couple of minutes, and just go through this NBA. Jason Tatum is I know you guys talked about this yesterday, but I did want to make a comment because the Knicks have an opportunity to eliminate the Celtics tonight.
I think it's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
No, you might be right. Is it tonight?
I thought it was tonight.
Yeah, you're probably right. I probably missed it.
James.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, Knicks at Celtics. I do think with Tatum out now, it does have to accelerate where you are with the Pistons. There is a vacuum now in the East. Cleveland, nothing. Indiana, you're telling me you can't compete with Indiana? The Knicks, yes, that was a tremendous series. The Knicks won those games, but the Pistons were right there. You are right there at the top of the East, not only to win a round, but damn near win the East, Braylon. I'm talking about NBA Finals. With Boston going, with Tatum going down, I think this absolutely has to accelerate where you are within the conference. The Detroit Pistons could, with a really good offseason, win the Eastern Conference and represent the East in the NBA Finals next year. And I don't think that's hyperbole. I don't think that's crazy talk. I think that is legitimate. Look at this East and tell me who the dominant team is.
I'll do you one better. Even before Jason Tatum got hurt, based on how the Pistons were able to play the Knicks and then the Knicks be able to beat the Celtics, because even with him getting hurt, I still thought the Knicks were going to win that game. I still thought they were going to win that game because they showed it twice before. So I agree. I think the landscape is wide open. Now, Cleveland, they definitely had some injuries in the playoff. Darius Garland is not who he has been in the regular season. He's injured. He's on one leg. So I think they're a better team than they're showing. But with that said, it's wide open because I guarantee you the Orlando Magic, I guarantee they're going to make some moves in the offseason, seeing how close they are. The Pacers are a good team. So it is open to make a move. And you got the guy. You have Cade. Cade is your guy. You have your guy. Basketball is a little easy to make moves because you only need a player or two that change the whole dynamic of a team. Football, sometimes you need 4, 5, 6.
2 games on the NBA schedule tonight. The Knicks have an opportunity to close out the Celtics in Boston. Boston, by the way, for what it's worth, is a 4.5-point favorite. And I say that because remember when I brought up the Cleveland game the other day? Cleveland was going to win that game by 20 points, I said, when they were favored. And they were begging you to take Indianapolis. Right. Cleveland won by 22. Boston is going to blow out the Knicks tonight. They will blow them out by at least 20. And you could take that to the bank, I think, because everybody is going to be on the Knicks tonight. Boston by 20.
The spread's been double that.
They will give you one game, and you'll get the one game. But
you don't think that was game 3?
No, but I'm saying you'll get the Jason Tatum out of the lineup. Everybody rally. Yeah. We're not dead yet.
Right.
You get that game tonight.
Yeah, good point.
You get that game tonight.
I do you one better, and I love this. I love what the Knicks are doing in terms of the energy and how they're playing in Brunson. We talk about that. If Kristaps Porzingis was the Kristaps Porzingis from last playoff, I still would take this Celtics team to beat this Knicks team. Like I still would. But Kristaps isn't playing well, and Jaylen Brown is struggling. So you do that, I got to go with the Knicks over the Celtics. But if Kristaps was healthy, he's the difference maker for the Celtics, and it's just not that.
Hey, last night, Pacers eliminated the Cavs. Just to let you know that.
Called it.
I said if I was a betting man, I would have bet everything on the Cavs last night.
Really?
Yeah,
So thank God. Thank God I don't
Good job,
bet.
Tom Mazzoy.
Thank God. So they beat them. Cavs are done. I'm going to play these back to back.
Yeah, buddy.
Rick Carlisle, the Pacers head coach, kind of complimenting the Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers, Coach of the Year, Kenny Atkinson, talking very well. And listen what he says about the Pacers. The Pacers are for real, guys.
Yeah, they are.
Check them out.
This is one of the best teams in the league. You know, injuries, dings or no dings, and they had a great year. And I'm sorry that their season had to end like this in a way. You know, I mean, Kenny did an amazing job. Their guys, you know, they just kind of had the perfect season, and then we came along and we're hot at the right time, you know.
Whether it's the Knicks or Celtics somehow survive, or Thunder, or whatever, how are these other teams going to deal with the Pacers case? Like I would imagine you feel it's pretty special.
I mean, they beat the Knicks last year the same way. They wore them down. I think that did the Knicks get injured? I think there were a few. It's and I just mad respect. It's like a college team, and I say that in a really good way. Like they press for 48 minutes, and they run faster than anybody in the league. We have the data. I wish I had a graph, right? You got the league. We're kind of up there, and probably 60, and they're up here. And I think, to their credit, I think they've they've recruited to that type of that's their style of play. They've surrounded their best player with that. But I do think we have a team that's capable of doing that too. We just got to figure out. But if you play the Celtics, the Knicks, it's a totally different. The Heat, it's a different type of game. This game, this team we couldn't match it.
Let's go, Ref. Coach.
All right.
Can I just say one thing about Kenny Atkinson? Weren't you the guy they brought in to figure that out this year? Isn't that why you got rid of JB Bickerstaff? Because, he could see all that too. And I'm glad you did. I'm glad you got rid of JB Bickerstaff. It was our game. But we knew that last year about your team.
Right.
You were the guy they brought in to figure that out and match the Knicks. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he could say that with a straight face publicly and walk off that podium and feel good about it.
I think it was the level of him trying to give a compliment, trying to show, what it was, and that, like, at the end of the day, they did bring him in and figure it out. And I know because we're Detroit and because we had all our injuries, we don't want to let injuries be an excuse, but it is a real excuse. When you're missing Darius Garland, he's playing on one leg, meanwhile he's an all-star and one of the best handles and point guard in the league right now at this time, that's major. When you're missing Evan Mobley for a game or two, I'm sorry, what did Evan Mobley win this year? It was some award. Oh, that's right, Defensive Player of the Year. That's your Defensive Player of the Year. Jared Allen, a rim protector, another, missed him too for 2 games in this series. So you're missing major players like that and still are fighting and still close. I give them a little bit more credit than just badgering them over that. It's tough.
That's a good point.
That's tough.
Hey,
we were missing one player in Beef Stew, and what did we say? If we had Beef Stew, we'd have beat them. They were missing 3 players for a multitude of games. So.
Well, I can say this then. The Pacers, yesterday I was saying, hey, I think the Knicks could win it all. I'm going to change my mind. I think the Pacers can win it all. I do. You have a Tyrese Halliburton who has been used and abused, made fun of, called a bum basically, and he's showing out. Just like what Anthony Edwards is doing and SGA is doing out in the West.
Anthony Edwards with a chance to close out
That's the new style of basketball. Like what you're saying, back in the day, there used to be like, the guy. And then there was maybe like a sub guy. And then there were a couple guys who were okay. You figured out you win a championship, but eventually it's 3 guys. Like you look at this team, like Tyrese Halliburton is the best player on the team, 100%. He don't have to be the best player, but once out every 6 nights. Because Pascal Siakam picks it up. Miles Turner finds rebounds. Neesmith. Like, they have a collective. Anthony Edwards. He has some bad nights. Here comes Walker. Here comes Naz Reid. DiVincenzo finds the game. And OKC, I looked at what they did to the Nuggets. 6 guys in double digits. 5 guys over 16 points. The best guys on those teams with these depth, just like Jason Tatum, who we're trying to figure out if he's the best player. So much depth by the Celtics. That's the teams that are winning the championship, and that's why the Nuggets aren't there anymore. They got rid of their depth.
Before I get to that point, Netflix has announced that the Lions game against the Vikings is going to be a 4:30 game. 4:30 on Christmas Day. Dallas and Washington at 1 o'clock. Just a point about the NBA and Halliburton and Edwards and Brunson and these guys. This is the NBA that I knew. I feel like I'm getting now. And this is one of the big knocks on LeBron James in this era that he was the leader in. These guys don't like each other. None of these players, you do not see them hugging and kissing everybody and being best friends with each other. They are in each other's grills. They are getting after it. And I'm not saying LeBron didn't get after it, but his era of NBA was all high-five and hugging and you're my best friend and we're going to do this and we're going to do that.
And I hated it.
These players, it looks like, at least on the court, genuinely don't like each other. That is what is going to bring the NBA back to some constant rivalries, not only between teams, but between players, and I'm here for it.
That's what Pete said.
That's right.
Pete, what you're saying? Leave the blood on the floor? What'd you say?
I want to see blood on the court is what I want to say. I want to see the bad boys.
Let
blood
the
on
bodies hit the
blood
floor.
on the court.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm telling you.
Well, what happened
Play the
was
role.
LeBron and D-Wade and Melo and Chris Bosh and, Chris Paul. And what their thing was? It was, let's get the old guard out of here. Like, the hell with Kobe. The hell with, it's the new guard. It's us. Let's take over. They were all friends in how they did it. This same wavelength, fast forward 22 years later, they want the old guard gone too, but they like their teams. They don't like the other new guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, they're in the space now. Anthony Edwards, Minnesota versus everybody. Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers versus everybody. Down the very road, Detroit, it's K in Detroit versus everybody. I love it. I love it.
By the way, side note on the Tigers.
I saw it.
Jace Young sent down
Thanks
to
for getting that
AAA.
base last night.
Akil Badu brought up. I'm going to tell you what this means, and I bet you Broder could tell us. Matt Vierling is ready to come up and play third base. That's what this
Great.
tells me. By tomorrow,
Because Badu
you'll see
plays
Matt
outfield,
Vierling
right?
up.
Badu's an outfielder, isn't he? Yes?
Purdue is an outfielder, yes.
Yeah. That's for tonight. That's for today's game, I'm pretty sure.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get Maz's Hockey Minute. We'll also talk a little Pete Rose. But first, a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has some great offers for everyone. How about a 2025 Envision Preferred all-wheel drive, $259 per month? What about that Sierra Double Cab, 2025, for only $169 per month? Are you kidding me? Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV, only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick GMC. Hit that QR code, press and hold if you're watching online, and the website will come right up. Check out the inventory for yourself. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Hey gang, dreaming of a new home but feeling a financial pinch? Well, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That means $5,000 that you do not have to shell out. Give them a call today, 248-290-8242. Visit them online as well. It's markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242. 8242 to make your dreams come true.
Discussion today with the great Neil Rule about hedging your bets. And the Tigers this year, let me tell you something, guys. If you're not watching the Tigers mid-game and betting them in-game when they're down 2 or 3 runs, you're missing out on money. So scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward 1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do so, make your first deposit and your first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward 1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Gentlemen.
Guys, Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson and I believe 14 others.
Deceased members.
Huh?
Deceased.
Taken off the permanently banned list. Tom Mazur, I'm going to come over to you. This is your era. This is your guy.
Yeah.
What do you make of this?
I think
Shoeless Joe Jackson?
I think baseball, I think they're cowards. I had a little discussion with Tony Paul last night on Twitter, back and forth. You know, you either like Pete Rose or you don't like him. The Hall of Fame is for numbers. So he had the most hits. No one will ever touch it. Over 4,000 hits. No one will ever come close to it. He belongs in the Hall of Fame. Shoeless Joe Jackson, I don't know much about numbers-wise. Supposedly, he was a fantastic player. I can only talk about Pete Rose. Pete Rose had a deal with Bart Giamatti. Look, you're going to be banned in a few years. You're going to apologize. I'm going to put you back in. Bart Giamatti died, literally, days after Pete Rose signed that deal. And Fay Vincent came in and said, sorry, Pete, I don't believe you. I don't care what Bart told you. Who else came in? Was it Peter Uberoff, or was that prior to that? And now you got Rob Manfred in there. They waited till Pete died, for crying out loud. Listen, man, if you got the numbers, you should be in the Hall of Fame. He's not the nicest guy in the world. We all know that. We know his checkered past. We know he's a liar. He bet on games. I get it. Put that on his plaque. Pete Rose is the hit king. He also bet as the manager of the Reds and probably as a player as well. But now look what we're doing. They're telling us to bet on the Tigers broadcast. I got Daniela Bruce telling me what to bet. You go on any television station, any game that's on, they're telling you what to bet. Pete just told you bet in game. That's what they do.
Right.
Pete Rose was ahead of his time when it comes to gambling.
Right.
Yeah, there were bookies then. He had to put the call in. But you know what? He didn't throw any hits away. He didn't do that. He bet on his own team. In a million years, I would never think, ever, that he bet against the Reds. Ever. And I know a lot of people will call me naive because money is money. Betting is betting. And Ryan and everyone else that's put a bet on a game can tell you the same thing. If there's money on a game, it's going to be shady. There's always going to be a shady thing when it came. Look how many people have thrown games. Look at Tim Donaghy, the disgraced NBA ref that told you everything about it.
Right.
Look at Jose Canseco when he told you about steroids. Then you tell me, let's put Barry Bonds in. Let's put Roger Clemens in. Let's do Rafael Palmeiro. Let's do all those. The only difference is those guys used substances to enhance their numbers. Pete Rose didn't do anything. He was fat. He was fat. And he got over 4,200 hits. Yeah, he's a schmuck. And he never really apologized. He lied. And yeah, he dated girls that were really, really young. But he's a Hall of Famer.
Underage?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that?
Oh, God.
No.
Yeah, he dated a 16-year-old. But he said, I thought she was 18. Or something like that. She might have been.
Well, that changes a lot of the conversation.
That's why a lot of people don't like him.
So you call it a curveball, no pun
Listen,
intended.
man, this ain't the Hall of being a good guy. It's the Hall of Fame. His numbers speak for themselves. And baseball, they just waited till he died. And you know what? Like I told Tony Paul yesterday, and I'll tell you guys again. Who cares if he makes the Hall of Fame now? It don't matter. It don't matter to me as a fan. I don't care.
I don't think you can have a Hall of Fame without the all-time hits leader, without the all-time home runs leader, and without the best pitcher in a 20-year period.
Yeah, but those guys use steroids to get
and
those
I don't care.
numbers.
Put a plaque.
But you should care.
Put an asterisk.
Okay.
Put an asterisk.
That's fine.
Put a
I'm good with
This guy
that.
is accused of
I'm good with
or
that.
admitted to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm good with
You
that.
can't have a baseball Hall of Fame and not have the guy that played the most games, had the most at-bats, had the most hits, had the most home runs, with best pitcher in a 20-year period, Roger Clemens. It's not a Hall of Fame to me. It's not.
Let me just add. So can I add in the shoeless Joe Jackson?
He
side
was
of this
illiterate,
thing?
right?
He was not only was he illiterate,
He couldn't
he
read.
was because he was illiterate, his teammates made fun of him. This guy was like the black sheep. Excuse the, I mean that's just, I'm sorry, but he was the black sheep of the Black Sox, as they say. Because this guy didn't know what he was frickin' doing. His wife negotiated his contracts with the with Comiskey. His wife was doing his deals. His teammates approached him, pressured him, said, hey, everybody's in, come on, Joe, why don't you be one of the guys? This is a guy who signed his name with an X because he couldn't frickin' write. He was bullied into this. Now, okay, Judge Landis came down with all these lists of rules that even though he didn't apparently take money, that he still was associated with gamblers, and because he was associated with gamblers, he's out. Baloney. This guy didn't know one freaking thing that he was doing. He's just there to play baseball, and he is a 356 lifetime hitter with 1,772 freaking hits. If that guy doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, I don't know what. He also had the highest batting average of both the Reds and the White Sox in the 1919 World Series, which is the World Series which has been threatened for that. So shoeless Joe Jackson belongs in. This is crazy, and he is obviously, his family's been fighting. His great-grandchildren are fighting for him to get in.
Here's
Right.
one of the things about Pete Rose, too, and this is the last thing I'll say about it. And I tried to make this point yesterday, just because he's eligible to make the Hall of Fame does not mean that he will make the Hall of Fame.
He'll make it eventually.
I agree with Tony Paul on that. I will say, I go to church. I will go to confession, and my priest will not judge me as much as Baseball Writers Association of America will judge these players.
Holier than now. That was a great tweet by you yesterday. Holier than now. Holier.
I would not
than
want
now.
these guys to be my
Who the hell are you?
judge, jury, and
I
executioner.
would love to look into those guys' histories.
Right.
I would love it.
The Baseball Writers Association of America, the people that vote for this award.
So Pete Rose wasn't
God
in when he
bless
was
you,
alive.
man.
Who gives a
God
hoot
bless
now?
you.
Who
It's,
gives a hoot?
you
Let me
know,
catch you up with the Stanley Cup, please. Stanley Cup has still been good. It's slowing down now because there's not as many games
There we go, buddy.
anymore. But the Stars beat the Jets last night 3-1. They pretty much owned this game. They have a 3-1 lead. Panthers at the Leafs tonight. Series tied at 2. Oilers could finish off Vegas tonight. They're up 3-1. It is in Vegas. And the manager is back, guys. Former Red Wing general manager Ken Holland is being hired as the LA Kings' new general manager. He is back in. He took a year off. He took Edmonton to the Cup final last year. Took a year off this year. Probably chilling out with his wife. Remember, he got into the Hall of Fame with Braylon this past winter. That was a great night. Love Kenny Holland. And that was a fantastic night, Bray. The night you got to go into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame, and you had some great people to go in with you. And one of them, of course, was the manager himself, who used to sell vacuums on the side, Kenny Holland.
Right.
Love that
Tremendous
guy.
guy. I got a chance to talk to him. I always love having him on the show. Last year around, the Edmonton Oilers. Hopefully this year is different. But it was a great class, man. It was good talking to the manager, as they call him.
Good job.
You got any more Lion leaks before we go?
Nope, I got nothing.
You don't have any Lion leaks?
No, I got nothing. We said them all, didn't we?
No, I didn't think we did the Cowboys.
Oh, no, go give
Cowboys are a Thursday night game. The Monday night game will be Lions and who did you say? Was it the Eagles?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
And they haven't mentioned the Eagles yet.
Their full schedule just came out.
Oh, no. Did it really?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It's way gone. I don't have it in front of me anymore.
That's
I
fine.
was like, this is dumb.
The Lions have a schedule. We'll see you.
Right? All right.
That's how you end it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.